Yesterday we had some big news though. Room 101 got bought by STG. Do you have any opinion on that? I've read a couple of things online, but I mean, nothing negative.
I thought some of it was negative.
You thought some of it was negative?
Sure.
One of them was like, I'm gonna stop buying. It's like, why? I mean, it's pretty dramatic of a thing to say.
I mean, honestly, I went through an array of emotions yesterday, and the one that I landed on was sadness, if I'm being honest. It makes me sad. And I know why, but I don't completely know why. You know, so Matt was like the first or second brand that ever actually like returned the call, wanted to work with me. So to me, he was like a brother. In the last 9 months or a year, we went through a little something. It was never talked about. You know me, I'm just transparent with you guys. Like, so I'm just going to tell it how it is. Like, we definitely went through something. Again, it was never really talked about, which I didn't like. I wanted things to run through the distribution company, and he did not, and it just seemed to, make it so he went somewhere else. And what I didn't like was he ran right to Luxury, a competitor of ours. Like, not that they're a competitor, they don't do what we do. But you get what I'm saying. Like, you went right to another, younger retailer. Like, why? If there was a problem, just talk to me. But that's our personal thing. On the business thing, it makes me sad because he went from Davidoff as the distributor to Caldwell, which is where we ended up with the first death bucket. Then he went to La Polina, where we got the second death bucket. And now he's going to STG. And by the way, I think before we even get into all this, first of all, and I'm sorry if this is a downer, but congratulations to Matt Booth. I mean, every entrepreneur, I think, at some point wants to be able to cash out and get the sweat equity back that they put into something. And he deserves every dime of whatever they paid him. I don't know exactly what he was paid. I would imagine it's between $1 and $5 million.
All right, really?
Yeah.
No more than that?
Huh?
You don't think more than that?
No, I don't think more than that. But what do I know? I have no idea what things are valued at. I know that, we had some issues with certain shops, when we did Room 101 releases, and he had issues with certain shops. It was like a very personal thing, which shows passion, But at the end of the day, I mean, he's got a brand. And so he doesn't have a factory, he doesn't have a farm, he's got a brand. And to be able to sell a brand that you built over the last 10 years for a couple $1 million, which I would think that he would have gotten, that's awesome. And so congratulations on that. So first when I saw it, I was like, I went through like an array of emotions. Like, I went through, at first I was like, what the fuck? Why would you do that? Then I was like, you know what? Why wouldn't he do that? Take the money and run. Like, do your thing. And, and then I got sad later on in the day. And I also wondered to myself, because we've been approached before about potentially selling, and we didn't pursue it. We took a phone call, had a conversation, but didn't pursue it. And I thought about the Shadow Army, and I want to give a special shout out to the Shadow Army. I want to give a special shout out to Bunny Droppings. You know, that's where some of my sadness is coming from. It's coming from the fact that I think it's very obvious to me, Johnny, that Matt creatively thrive. Like, that's what he does. He's the only person in this industry, and I'll say it, he's the only person in this industry that can even touch me creatively. That's my opinion. Okay, but putting ideas on paper, putting them on cigars, getting the cigars out, he's the only person that can touch me in this new wave of what we're looking for. The gold foil is great and all, but like, Jesus Christ, how many times can you do it? You know? So it was very obvious to me that Matt did not enjoy the business side of this thing. He's a creative guy. And I say that because after Davidoff went to Caldwell, then went to, like, he could have done this himself at one point. And I talked to him 3 months ago, and he was like, I'm independent. I'm doing this all on my own. You know, and I was like, great, congratulations, finally. You know, what do you need all these companies for? Like, you know, we even talked about distributing him at one point, and it was like, why? Why would it just doesn't make sense. You've already toured the country. You already know the shops. You just get the product and put it out, you know? But again, I don't think that is part of what Matt enjoys or what, you know, checks all his boxes. Like, you know what I mean? And so, and I understand and respect that. Very few people, in fact, no one in this industry has ever been able to do what we do with the creating, marketing, you know, the building the manufacturing pipeline, the curating, the whole thing. No one does what we do. No one's ever done it, and that's why we're so successful. And you know, it is what it is. I'm not going to be bashful about it. And what's made that so special is how accessible I've been. And so when I see someone creating something like Shadow Army, again, special shout out to these guys. When I see him grooming people like Bunny, like, and then selling I mean, again, get your mother effing money. Like, I am not mad at you, Matt, and I'm sorry if this comes across the wrong way. I'm just expressing how I feel. And that's all I know how to do. I don't know how to be politically correct, you know, for the most part, unless it comes to disrespecting people's, you know, I'm not going to sit here and disrespect people, but I don't know. In other words, I don't know how to put the filter on to the point where I'm just, good, congratulations. That's what I said to him, congratulations. And then afterwards, I was like, yo, I just lost a brother in this shit, man. If not a brother, at least a worthy competitor in this shit. Because this changes everything. You know, you can tell me the manufacturers won't change it. You don't own the brand anymore. What do you know? And that fucking pisses me off. That pisses me off that Matt Booth doesn't own Room 101 anymore. It's not my business. We probably shouldn't even put this video out, but I'm going to do it anyway because everyone is feeling some way about this. Everyone's confused. And so Davidoff didn't work out. Caldwell didn't work out. La Polina didn't work out. I'm led to believe that going to the most corporate place in our industry, you got to beep that at whatever time that was, is that going to work out? Are we going to get this guy a desk in a cubicle? Come on, man. This is Matt Booth. He's a wild stallion. He's a wolf, bro. So maybe he's at that age. I think he's a little older than me. Maybe he's at that age where it's time to do something like that. And not, again, Matt, if you watch this, please know this is not coming from a position of hate. It's coming from a position of love. I'm disappointed. I'm expressing it to the members. I'm expressing it to everyone because this is what I do and this is what has made us work as a community, and I welcome you anytime. I've told you a million times, please come here, get on camera. You want to write a piece about how you feel or video a piece about how you feel, put it on Cigar Public. These are all your forums, bro. You help me build this, and I'll help you build whatever's next for you. But I have to express how I feel. I also feel, Johnny, that, and this is probably my most narcissistic, paranoid thought that I've had in this industry, but I also believe it to be true. I don't know that they'll make their money back on Room 101, right? But I don't know that they bought the brand for the brand. Are you listening to me?
Yes, I'm listening. I was trying to quiet that thing.
Are you listening?
Say it again so I get rid of
I don't know that they bought the brand
for the brand.
for the brand. I think they bought it for him.
I'm going to unmute myself here so we can have a real conversation.
You were muted the whole time? Okay.
Yeah, because I breathe loud.
But I don't know that they bought it for the brand. Like, they already had a licensing deal with him. They already made 2 cigars that none of us smoke. You know, I think we all tried it once and like said, oh, yeah, it's okay. And that's that company to me. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with it, you know? But this craft culture that even though he was a brand, a boutique, and he was the shining star of the boutiques, even though he was a boutique, his creativity did something for this industry. So my thing is this. This company created like a spinoff of itself called Forged, right? And the way, I don't know if they already had these plans. I kept getting word, STG is going to try to compete with you. STG is going to try to compete with you. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's flattering. That I don't know. But this is coming from people that go to meetings that are like, they're working on something that's like similar to what you're doing kind of thing. And then they drop Forged. And I'm just like, this is what they're talking about? Unless they haven't dropped whatever it is yet. Because then it was like around that time, they dropped this Forged thing where they're taking all these defunct brands and they're revamping them. But they don't have the cool factor. And no offense to anyone over there. STG, I've been on calls with STG a few times. I've spoken to a few people there. They're all good people. They are not the enemy. I'm not trying to make it. But as a corporation, the good people that I spoke to don't own this company and they don't make the major decisions. Okay? So when you work for a corporation, you don't know necessarily what the CEO is thinking. He's not telling you his every move. You're the president of this or the vice president of that. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do. You don't think there's maybe like a lot of flexibility? Like, do the same thing you were doing before, and if there's something I could put an input to,
what?
Then do it. Like, for example, what if they just bought the company from Booth, and they're like, just keep on doing the same shit you were doing before, and it's working? Why would they change it?
Yeah, but they made him the creative director of Forged, not just Room 101.
Oh.
So they bought the only guy that can compete with me, basically. That's what I'm trying to tell you here. They bought the only guy that can creatively compete with me. So no, I'm not thrilled about that part. He works for the people that, want to dip their toes in this craft movement. And they're the biggest, it happens to be the biggest corporation in our industry. It doesn't feel right to me. But other than my core members, most of this industry doesn't care. Look at what Drew Estate did. They sold to not just some big corporation, Swisher Sweet. They sold to Swisher Sweet. Their cigars are being sold in 7-Elevens for half the price that we pay for them in brick and mortars. What does that say to all the people that helped build that brand? You've been paying $10, $11, $12 for these cigars, but now that 7-Eleven wants them, we're going to sell them at half price. Wow. But they still buy that crap. You know what I'm saying? And like, I'm dishing it out a little bit today, but this is how I feel. And I don't feel that I need to not say what's on my mind. Again, I want to send a special shout out to the Shadow Army. I don't know if Booth is going to continue with that or not. I feel bad if they didn't know the news. And that's one thing I want to say, Johnny. In 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now, if I ever feel like, you know what, it's time for me to like retire and go travel around the world, let me see who wants to buy the company. Like if it ever came to that, where we decided to sell this, I think if something got really serious, I would start prepping my people. I would never want to blindside people who have dedicated so much of their resources to me. Their energy. It's not the money, it's the energy. You've given me so much fuel in my tank. Honestly, like, I don't have this kind of stamina. I've never had this kind of stamina. Maybe in music I did. The passion was driving me, but eventually I exhausted and fizzled out. Every time I get those emails, those texts, I see those posts where one of these products makes you guys happy, you know, like it fuels, it puts another shovel's worth of coal in my furnace, bro. Like, I am driven by that. And I would never, ever, ever want to disappoint any of you. Money's money, bro. We all need money. And of course, everyone wants a big check. I do not fault Matt for taking the check. I congratulate him. Matt, if you're watching this, bro, I love you. I have nothing but love for you. I will help you in this position if you call upon me to do so. I'm just expressing how I feel today.
I'm gonna argue with you on that one. I'd take the money and run. I'd take it. You know why?
I don't blame him.
Because
I'm not mad at him. I'm sad.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Money can't buy like an ounce of time, bro. So like, you have a family, a kid. Like, I would take the money and.
I told him he should get off the road years ago. Why are you traveling like this? This is crazy. Be at home with your family. Yeah. And COVID, put him in that position. And he learned from that. You know what I mean? You don't have to teach Matt something twice. I'll give him that. He's a smart guy.
I think we need to give it a bit more time.
What's to give time to, Johnny?
I don't know.
He doesn't own the brand anymore. It's at STG. When he decides that he no longer wants to work for STG, a corporation, okay?
Yeah.
They keep that brand. You understand that,
right?
But
he still has his money, right?
Huh?
He still has his
money, but Room 101's no longer his. So then he starts Matt Booth Cigars or whatever it is that he, I don't know what their contract looks like. But yeah, I hear you. Of course, take the money and run. Like, if you can do it, great. But then there's long money. And this is where corporations and billionaires understand things about money that the average person doesn't. Because let's say they gave them, let's say the high ends of $5 million for the brand, okay? All they do is calculate how long it's going to take to make that $5 million back, okay?
Of course.
And then the brand was free.
Yeah.
So, okay, it takes us 7 years, but then we own it forever. And bro, Room 101 has good branding. Like, you'll see it.
Yeah.
People are not this deep into cigars like we are. They just see the flower and go, oh yeah, so in 10 years from now, some kid who's just getting into cigars will be like, yeah, I want to try that. So when you sell a company, all you're doing is taking you're not taking a loan that you have to pay back, but you're taking an advance on future dollars, basically.
Yeah.
But at some point, you're also exercising the right to say, I don't get any more ever again. So you're willing to give me, $1 million for this brand or $100 million for this brand, but I can never profit from it again.
Yeah, I mean, you're giving me 7 years in an instant. 7 years I'll have forever. Like, are you dedicated 7 years to a company or 7 years in an instant? I can save all those 7 years with my family.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm saying, like, time is money, bro, right?
Yes.
So I would rather just take the money and conserve the time. Put it in
I don't know what do you mean by conserve the time?
Like, I don't want to wait. If I'm already done with it.
You're just saying you just want the money, you don't want to work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what most people feel until they don't have to work anymore.
Yeah. And get a hobby. learn how to sew.
Bro, if you and I situation,
Yeah.
okay, ever goes away because Privada gets bought out, the postal system decides that they can't ship cigars anymore or something, you will look back on this time with such nostalgia that it'll break your heart. I guarantee it.
Of
If anything
course.
you do for work after that, it's going to suck for a little while.
Of course, but I am helping you. I've helped you build a brand. I'm going to build my brand after that's said and done. So that's what I think. You know what I mean?
And you know I'll support you in that.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do. But, yeah, so, okay. So you're saying why not just cash out?
Cash out, live your life, and maybe work on other projects, other passions. He's got his jewelry, he's got his gin, he's got his... Did all that go with, too?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
But those aren't... To me, Matt would have focused where the money was coming from, and I think the money was coming from cigars. I don't think he's done some good jewelry deals.
Yeah.
But it's not the same kind of business either. I don't know. I don't know. So I just don't know that part. It's not my business. I don't know that. I do. If the Shadow Army didn't know, though, I do feel bad for them.
Who's the Shadow Army?
It's like his Privada kind of thing.
Okay.
You know? And what's so funny about that? I think it's hard. I think it's terrible.
Yeah.
If you don't, like, could you imagine like Jeff Simony or like Privada couple like just like opening up their email one day and being like, oh, Privada just sold to the Cheetos Corporation. Like, what?
Yeah, I get it.
No, man, I wouldn't.
It would be.
It'd be devastating.
Yeah.
And so let me just say this: who else is left doing what we do now?
I don't think anybody was ever doing what we do. I'm sorry, dude.
I think Matt was swam in the same pool.
He's got seniority, I guess. He did it earlier in the time.
But he
was the
and
first
so
boutique,
maybe my mentality's totally up there. Maybe I shouldn't even give a shit.
We're just opinions, bro. Like, it's just opinions. Like, yours opinion, but
I feel like, and this is narcissistic of me, but I feel like they bought him, his mind, his cool factor, to try to do what we do.
You know what? It's...
And that's fine.
This is a video where I'm like, should we release it? Should we not? Only because it's just making us sound like this is about us, when it really is.
It's not about us.
Yeah. No, I know it, but
it's not about us. That's just one tiny section of it, because no corporation can do what I do. You cannot move on the drop of a dime. You have so much red tape to cut through. You have so much legal shit.
Let's have 10 meetings and 7 different email chains.
Man. Come on. Come on. Yeah, I don't know. That's how I feel. Matt, congratulations. I'm glad you got your bag. You deserve it. If anyone deserves it, you deserve it. Does this change the Room 101 bread? I don't see why he can't make the same cigars with the same people. The problem now is, now you have these people here that are fractional pennies and dollars and dimes, and that's all they're focused on, not the passion of the craft of cigar making, and they've never given anyone credit. You know what I mean? You say, no, hold on, it's your brand, right? You're making it with this factory, right? And now all of a sudden, you don't represent yourself anymore. So they call, no, Jose, make it for 20 cents less, or we're going to move factories.
Yeah.
All right, well, Jose has to do the change, and it's going to come out of the tobacco.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's great to say nothing's going to change, but what difference does it make? He made his money.
You think he signed like a non-compete, like he can't create another brand?
That's very possible.
Because, like, it's Matt Booth, bro. He could just go out and create another band.
He could create mattboothcigars.com, you know, whatever.
Yeah, the Boofy.
The Boofy.
The Boofy, baby.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I would imagine so when you do a deal with these people.
Cigar Smoked Chicken with Guy Fieri.
I'm not happy. I'm not happy about it. I'm happy for him. I'm trying to be happy for him, but I'm not happy. And yeah, I hear you. He doesn't do what we do. He's a brand, and it's different. But I just, I think Matt kept me on my toes a little bit. I enjoyed working with him thoroughly.
I'm I'll be honest. I don't have no feeling towards him selling or not.
Do
but
you see?
But I do see the side of getting blindsided. I do see that. Like that's kind of messed up. Like if you did that to your
But
members,
you also can't talk about the deal. But we have a relationship with our people, and I want anyone in the Shadow Army to know that we have this is a family over here.
Yeah, it is.
And I feel like some of the people, like I've watched Shadow Army, I haven't seen anyone like outwardly like say like F Brian or you know Mark this time or whatever, you know. But I've gotten a little bit of like feeling. And I think that there are like 1% or 5% of the people out there that have that Brian feeling, but they're still part of this craft culture. And I want you to understand that I am not a bad person in any way. I'm a great person. No one in this industry has ever opened their doors as wide as I have and kept them open. I have people come to my house. I have people on my cell phone. I mean, this is my community. I needed it just as bad as my members did. And what we have here is an absolute family, and we care about each other. And, you know, maybe that's immature of me, Johnny. Maybe that's pretty Peter Pan, you know, to believe that I can have a business that's profitable, serve people in a way that fulfills them, create community that's lasting like a true friendship or a family, right?
I get it.
And still be able to make good business decisions that don't interrupt those things. Yeah. Maybe that's pretty immature of me, but I'll tell you what. The same way that I've been transparent in this video is the same way that I think I've been pretty transparent throughout this whole process, and it's the same way that I'll continue to do business. I have enough money to not really have to worry about money. Thank God. Thank you, God, because I come from not much, and I'm not educated, and all I got is hustle and creativity. And all from books, by the way. You want to be smart, go read books. But this is how I'm going to run my business. This is how, and I'm not always going to do these videos. One day you might get a big gig in Hawaii or something, and like I don't know if I'll always do this much video work, but for now it's fitting. I think at some point the products start to speak more for themselves rather than just me all the time, you know. And I just do want to say again, like for anyone out there, if you don't like me, you probably didn't watch this far, but get over that, and I can get over not liking you either. And, you know,
that's exhausting, just not hating somebody, waking up in the morning.
We can make products, you know, like these, what are these, like $6? I mean, you know, there's some of the best cigars I've ever had, like out of Nicaragua. Like, we can make products like these.
That peach.
You know, this is the mango cedar.
And when you say people that hate you, it's literally people in the industry that you could work great.
No, not people in the industry. The consumers. There are a small little section of consumers that probably find me annoying, or who knows what, or ego, or this or that. Yeah. I don't know why it is that they wouldn't like me, but I just want you to know that I'm probably the realest person in this industry, and I'm probably the most open person in this industry. Only other person I know that is this accessible is probably Eric Espinosa. Like, you could get to him if you need to talk to him, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sort of.
That's cool, dude.
You know, but you email me, you're getting an email back from me that day. Like, you know, some of the members have my cell phone number, or they've been to my house. Like, you know, Chris Reeves is coming here this weekend. Like, you know, I just, I definitely feel sadness for, like, a loss. Like, even though we weren't working together the last year, I knew that over time that could change, you know? And who knows, maybe it could happen now. I don't know. I'm not ruling anything out. Like I said, I'm going to support this man no matter what. Man. I congratulate you and your family on getting this bag. I know that you deserve it. And man, I hope that it's more than what I think it is. And I hope that you save it, put it into real estate, whatever you do with it, that it lasts forever. And that's it, man. But so many people have asked me how I feel about this that I do feel like we need to release this video. this is not a polished video. My wife would flip if she if she saw this before I put it out. Clark would be very upset. I don't know how to be anything other than myself and authentically me, and I think that rings through in everything we do, and that's part of the reason for our success. So, hashtag We're Privada. Dear Privada family, know that I am dedicated to you, your cigar needs, and all that good stuff, and that, you know, I'm not looking to surprise anyone at any point. I'll keep everyone in the loop of anything that were to ever go down, and it's not something I'm looking to do anytime soon anyway, so. Get ready for corporations to, you know, market to this. I mean, what was the craft beer that got bought? Goose Island.
Goose Island IPA, yeah.
You know what they didn't buy, though? I don't think so anyway, but maybe I'm totally wrong. To me, Sierra Nevada was the first commercially viable IPA. Yeah. It's a fantastic beer. Yeah. I don't think they ever got bought, and I appreciate that. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I'm wrong because I'm just not in that industry and don't know. But Goose Island, when I saw Goose Island at first, I'm like, I'm never drinking that shit again.
I loved it when it came out.
Bro, that whole thing is about craft microbrew stuff. Now, we're not micro per se, although we could call ourselves that if we wanted to, but because like the stuff in the club is 10,000 made and that's it, you know?
By the people who make your favorite cigars.
So do you also now see why I've 2 years ago started focusing on who's making the cigars, yeah. Not the brands. Yeah. I did it for a number of reasons, but the biggest reason that I did it for was because I can't get us the best cigars ever if I don't know who's making them. Like if I can't walk in the kitchen and be like, and see how the technique and all that, you know, then I don't know that I'm getting the best food. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it pissed a lot of brands off. It's still pissing brands off. Some brands that we're friendly with are giving me like attitude. Like it's not like we can't ever work together. It's just that if we do, you got to come correct, man. It's got to be your best stuff. Don't give me stuff that looks terrible or smokes terrible or you're telling me it was made at one factory when I know it wasn't. That's why I stopped messing with Caldwell. Yeah. He lied to me. I caught him in a lie. His blender came here and told me I made the cookie. You made the cookie, so I'm out here lying to people? You want to buy Caldwell stuff? That's the kind of stuff he does. The hustler of Miami. Come on, man. I don't have time for this. I don't have time for that. Get me to the chef. That's who's making our food, the chef. So you want to say, oh, I miss it when it was the brands. Go buy the brands. They're on shelves. I'm sure they have a great story for you. Okay? But I'm here to talk about what I know, fact. And that's who made the cigar. They shipped it from their warehouse to my warehouse. It was aged by me or at their warehouse, and I absolutely trust that person. And that's it. I'm sorry if it's not sexy. There's not a whole new blender every single month that's made. But that's just the industry we're in. Any industry you're in. Talk about the top 10 players in the NBA. You want the best of the best of the best. It starts to you get to this apex, okay, where you're left with the top 3 to 5 people. But you're getting the best cigars ever. And when you don't need large quantities, they can use tobaccos that they can't use in other things, and it makes it really unique and special. So that's how I feel about that. I hope this wasn't too long. How long is this?
32 minutes.
Jesus, that's too long. Just put it out, man. You know, because
get on the top and then kind of like keep some things out if you want. I don't mind doing that.
What's to keep out? What are we gonna do? Filter ourselves? Why? Does anyone want that anymore? They want the hey, look at this, and I don't. That's not me, and that's not what we do.
That's not you.
That's not what we. So then it's not Privada.
I just say that. I don't know, man. There's just a time and place. Let a motherfucker have a win. Let him do his thing.
Why do you think this isn't letting him have his win? Just because I'm voicing the fact that I'm sad that I kind of feel like I lost a friend in the industry?
I don't think you. Maybe you give him a phone call. Let's give him a phone call right now.
I emailed him. Congratulations. He was thankful. Hey, I'm
Let's get him on the phone right now, bro.
Nah. He wouldn't. I don't think he'd answer the call. And we haven't been communicating that well over the last year or so.
It just takes one person to start it.
Bro, I'm not here. So what am I going to say? Hey, I'm disappointed in you? No, that would be raining on his parade. Me putting out a video to my people is not.
I say you watch it, you bask on it, and then we'll see. But I honestly think if you're in a bad mood, remember, angry decision is an important decision. So
I'm not angry at this exact moment.
I know, but
it is morning.
You weren't in a good mood.
I wasn't in a good. I'm in a good mood in the morning. All right, man. Well, I think that's it.
All right.
It's 33 minutes now, I'm sure.
Cut, my friends. Have a good weekend.